The Toronto Blue Jays are grinding for answers after a tough stretch as Daulton Varsho works to rebuild his arm strength in center field. While his throwing velocity is trending upward toward his 2022 form, he remains a key focus for opposing baserunners looking to snatch an extra base. With manager John Schneider calling for more offensive consistency, the team is keeping a close watch on Varsho's development as he continues his recovery journey.
Stop using your finger for notes, sketches, and edits. This Jam Jake stylus pen gives your iPad a smoother, more precise writing feel with palm rejection so your hand can rest naturally on the screen. It charges fast, works for hours, and comes with replacement tips. Perfect for school, work, or creative projects. Check the link in the comments to grab it on Amazon.
On the mound, right-hander Dylan Cease is striving to reach the high ceiling the Blue Jays envisioned when they signed him to that massive 7-year deal. After a gutsy 6-inning performance against the Milwaukee Brewers, Cease is focused on using his sinker and changeup to stay efficient and deeper into games. The team needs that durability to anchor the rotation as they look to turn their season around. In high school action, Riley Haggerty delivered a clutch defensive play that defined Ridley's wild 9-8 victory over Garnet Valley. Haggerty wasn't just a force in center field. She also dominated at the plate with 3 RBIs to lead the Green Raiders to a hard-fought win. It was a day where defensive grit and offensive power collided to decide the outcome in the Central League. Finally, the historic former Remington Arms site in Ilion is looking at a massive transformation as a developer moves to build a 250,000-square-foot artificial intelligence data center on the premises. After the plant closed in 2024, this project could provide a major economic reboot, though it still faces state reviews and public comment periods ahead. Stay tuned for more updates on these stories, and smash that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss a beat. Are the Toronto Blue Jays heading for a total collapse, or is this just the standard early-season slump we've seen before? With a brutal 7-11 start and their 5th straight series loss, the Bats have gone ice cold, failing to push across more than 4 runs in almost every recent outing. It is a frustrating trend, but inside the clubhouse, the narrative is all about finding that missing spark. While the offense searches for its rhythm, there are some legitimate storylines emerging on the mound and in the field that could change the team's trajectory. First, let's talk about Daulton Varsho. His throwing arm has been the elephant in the room since his shoulder surgery, but the data is finally looking promising. After dipping to a concerning 73 mph last year, he is back up to an average of 81 mph, and he is hitting those higher 80s again, which, frankly, is huge for his confidence. He's putting in the work with long toss and focused training, and while he isn't quite back to elite status, he's no longer an automatic base staker for the opposition. Then there is the Dylan Cease project. The Jays didn't sign him to a massive 9-figure deal just to be an average starter. They want to unlock a new level of dominance. Watching him grind through 6 innings in Milwaukee was a masterclass in why they brought him in. It wasn't perfect, but by mixing in the sinker and changeup, he bought the team exactly the kind of length they desperately need. And finally, keep an eye on Trey Yesavage. With the pitching depth already being tested, his return from a shoulder issue is imminent. Whether he slots into the rotation or forces a shift in the bullpen dynamic, help is officially on the way. The offense needs to wake up. The tension is clearly high, evidenced by that late-inning spat with Trevor Megill, and the pressure to turn this around is mounting daily. Do you think the Blue Jays have enough left in the tank to flip this season before the summer hits, or is this core finally running out of time? Let me know your take in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into the Jays season. Ever wondered if the stock powering almost every smartphone on the planet is still worth a spot in your portfolio? ARM holdings just ticked up 2.7%, landing at around $166.73. But with a price-to-earnings ratio north of 220, you have to ask, is the growth potential already baked into the price, or is there more room to run? Wall Street seems torn, but generally optimistic. We are seeing major players like Raymond James and the Royal Bank of Canada bumping their outlooks to outperform, with price targets reaching as high as $175. Currently, the consensus sits at a moderate buy, with an average target of $174. But keep your eyes on the boardroom. Recent SEC filings show both the CFO and CEO have been offloading shares. While these are often part of prearranged plans, a multi-million-dollar exit from top leadership is something any savvy investor should note. Now, let's look at the financials. ARM crushed their latest earnings expectations, bringing in $1.24 billion in revenue, a solid 26% jump year-over-year. As a licensing giant that doesn't actually manufacture chips, their business model is incredibly efficient, essentially acting as the architect of the modern computing world. However, with a beta of over 3, this stock is going to be a wilder ride than the broader market. It thrives when tech is hot, but it will feel the sting when sentiment turns. So, should you jump in now? Institutional interest is picking up, but there are whispers of other hidden gems in the sector that analysts are favoring over ARM right now. Before you make your move, do your homework on the full landscape. If you found this breakdown useful, hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the stocks moving your money. And remember, in a market this volatile, having the right strategy is just as important as picking the right ticker. So don't just invest, stay informed. If you ever wondered what clutch looks like, look no further than Riley Haggerty. In a wild Central League showdown on Thursday, the Ridley center fielder didn't just contribute at the plate. She sent a message to every runner in the league. If you try to take an extra base, you do it at your own risk. Haggerty uncorked an absolute laser to the plate in the 7th, cutting down the tying run and securing a thrilling 9-8 win over Garnet Valley. Talk about a statement play. But Haggerty wasn't the only one bringing the heat. Across the Delco sports scene, the intensity was off the charts. We saw massive offensive outbursts, like the 19-6 slugfest from Downingtown East, and nail-biters that came down to the final seconds. Grace Steffen played the hero for Pencrest, burying her 3rd goal in overtime to edge out a previously unbeaten Marple Newton squad 9-8. While on the boys' side, Luke Young mirrored that drama by netting the golden goal to lift the Pencrest boys to a 12-11 overtime victory. It was a day where talent met grit, from Marple Newton's power-hitting display to Cardinal O'Hara's historic milestone, as Colin Donoghue smashed through the 200-save barrier in net. Whether it was the diamond, the pitch, or the lacrosse field, the level of competition reminded us exactly why we love local sports. You really have to admire the resilience on display, like Bristol rallying from a 6-0 and 11-6 deficit to snatch a win away from Delco Christian. It just goes to show, the game isn't over until the final whistle. Which of these performances impressed you the most? Drop a comment below and let us know. If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss a highlight from the local leagues. See you in the next one. Imagine a place where history meets the cutting edge of the future. For 2 centuries, the Remington Arms site in Ilion stood as an industrial icon. But since its doors shuttered in 2024 and production moved south to Georgia, those massive grounds have been left waiting for a new purpose. Now, a developer is stepping in with a massive proposal that could transform this historic landmark into a high-tech powerhouse. They are looking to clear out the old and build a state-of-the-art, 250,000 square foot artificial intelligence data center. It is an ambitious pivot, moving from traditional manufacturing to the engine room of the modern digital economy. Of course, a project of this scale doesn't happen overnight. The plan is currently heading into a rigorous state review process with public comment periods scheduled throughout this year and next, giving the local community a vital seat at the table. This is more than just a real estate deal. It is a major test of how we can repurpose industrial heritage to fuel the next generation of AI. If you want to see how this transition unfolds, make sure to hit that subscribe button for updates. In a world chasing the next big digital breakthrough, sometimes the best way forward is to build upon the foundations of the past.